The UAE got hit by multiple high-powered drones, and their main nuclear reactor is on fire. We may have a new Chernobyl or Fukushima event. And the UAE put out an official statement saying none of the radar showed the drones coming in out of where there's Houthis or where there's Hezbollah in Lebanon or Iran. They're saying we're not going to say who, but it looks like a very sophisticated state actor. What have I been saying? Look for false flags, attacks on nuclear reactors, ladies and gentlemen. And here's footage of what the Iranians have been hitting successfully. They took credit for that. The oil storage tanks, the high-powered radar systems, they've taken credit for that. Iran is not taking credit and saying they didn't hit the nuclear reactor. Iran says that Hezbollah out of Lebanon did. But the media is acting like they don't know why the biggest Israeli missile manufacturing base, interceptor base, blew up in a giant mushroom cloud last night. But Iran is taking credit for that. And Iran is taking credit for all the other stuff, but they're not taking credit. They're not blaming Israel. They're saying we didn't attack the nuclear reactor. Are you starting to figure out where we are right now? Nuclear reactor on fire. 600 drones hitting Moscow, thousands hitting Russia, all hell breaking loose. Israeli missile production facility, the biggest blown up. Pentagon says brace for attacks from Cuba. It is on. The New World War is here. It is hot. We have drones blowing up a nuclear reactor in the United Arab Emirates. It's on fire right now. Could be a new Chernobyl. Could be a new Fukushima. Giant mushroom clouds seen from 20 miles away, blown up. Iran took credit for that. So Israel's got mushroom clouds, their biggest missile factory blown up. The UAE has a nuclear reactor on fire still as we speak. Just in, Iran just launched a major drone attack and set a nuclear power plant on fire in the United Arab Emirates. And, Trump's going to get you. Here's the Fox News report on that.
Yeah, Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv. I'm sure he's got more for us. Trey?
Yeah, guys, good morning. We do start with some breaking news out of the UAE, where officials say that a drone attack against a nuclear power plant caused a fire at a generator on the outskirts of the facility. This is a significant attack and likely conducted by the Iranian regime. It comes as tension continues to rise across the Middle East as the region waits to see if the war will resume in the days ahead. So far, efforts toward a diplomatic solution with Iran have been unsuccessful, with officials in Tehran unwilling to make the necessary concessions to reach a deal. President Trump spoke on his return flight from China, indicating he didn't like the first sentence of the Iranian response to the U.S. peace proposal.
I looked at it, and if I don't like the first sentence, I just throw it away.
What was the first sentence?
An unacceptable sentence.
The New York Times is reporting our military is preparing for another round of attacks, this time more aggressive. The attacks can come as early as Monday. Additional Iranian military targets are on the table. That includes infrastructure. The president's still reportedly considering a special operations raid to pull out the nuclear dust and possibly a ground assault on Karg Island.
We hit Karg Island, everything but the oil. We left that one little thing. I say, stay 50 yards away. And I said to General Raisin Kane, I said, General, how long will it take? He said, 4 or 5 minutes. I said, no, seriously, how long? I figured he'd say a day or 2 days, a week. He said, no, only 4 or 5 minutes. They wiped out the whole island, except they left the nozzle. You know, that's where the oil comes out, just in case.
The United States has used the ceasefire to rearm our warships and attack planes. We have more than 50,000 troops, 2 aircraft carriers, dozens of destroyers, and scores of warplanes on standby. This includes 5,000 Marines and 2,000 paratroopers from the 82nd. Bridge and Power Plant Day could be next week.
We had up to 600,000 troops at one time for over a decade, 15 years in Vietnam. We dropped 7.6 million bombs on them. We dropped 22,000 bombs on Iran. You can blow up their military all day, but you can't take the country, and they've got all of the missiles, short range, medium range, long range. They've got the artillery. They've got the straight clothes. That's the CIA Pentagon assessment. So I'm not trying to attack Waters or Trump or any of them. You're sitting there, oh, we sunk some boats. Oh, we can do all this. Oh, we've got 50,000 troops and 2,000 Marines. Whoop-de-frickin-do. The head of the Army said he had 100,000 troops to take the Strait to Trump, and we'll have 30,000 casualties. And Trump fired his ass 3 weeks ago. It took 110,000 Marines and Navy to take Iwo Jima. That was 23,000 Japanese troops. We lost 20-something thousand troops. Again, this is crazy town, and the Iranians know that. Finish up with Waters.
And scores of warplanes on standby.
Ooh.
This includes 5,000 Marines and 2,000 paratroopers from the 82nd. Bridge and Power Plant Day could be next week.
Did you underestimate the pain tolerance that Iran has?
I didn't underestimate anything. We hit them unbelievably hard. Look, we left their bridges. We left their electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days. 2 days, everything.
Even with all the firepower back home, the press still thinks we're losing.
You should be ashamed of yourself. I actually think it's treason. When you write like they're doing well militarily and they have no Navy, no Air Force, no anti-anything. By the way, we knocked out 85% of their manufacturing for missiles. I had a total military victory. But the fake news, guys like you write incorrectly. You're a fake guy, and guys like you, I actually think it's sort of treasonous what you write, but you and the New York Times and CNN, I would say, are the worst.
We're winning the war, but the Iranians are very slippery. They like to stall and play games, but in the end, they don't have a lot of options. Make a deal or good night. Trump wants to wrap this thing up just like everybody else.
Americans want to know when it's over, though, right?
Yeah, look, Vietnam lasted 19 years. Iraq was like 10 years. Korea was 7 years. Another one was 14 years. Another one was 12 years. Another one was 9 years. We're in there for 2.5 months.
And how those wars end out for us, how they end up. He can go, oh, look at the liberal media. They're usually wrong with everything. Now it's easy. They can tell the truth now because you're in the wrong. The Pentagon told you don't do this. I told you. Eric Prince went public, said don't do it. He said he couldn't believe they did it. He said next week boots on the ground because it's not going to work. We war game this. This is what we do, Trump. You build hotels and casinos. Great. He admits so much about the military. Lindsey Graham, Mark Levin's like, I don't know about the military, but I believe in our Marines and all this other stuff. So here we are. It's already derailed the economy. It's already messed up Trump's recovery plan. That's what the globalists wanted. They're happy. They love it. It's so good. And the Iranians just blew up Israel's biggest missile production base. NATO that's who's doing it, launched thousands of drones, blew up a whole bunch of Moscow. Here we are. And you got the candidate running against Massey saying we need a national draft instituted now for world war, for Israel. Now you see where we are? We are being walked into total war. We're basically already here. And it's getting worse and worse and worse by the minute. I hate being right about this. I said 76 days ago when I started on that Saturday show, I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the mullahs fall. No fan of them. I hope all the strategies work. But see, Cuba, obviously this week meeting with the head of the CIA, didn't make a deal. So now, oh, Cuba's going to blow us up. Cuba's going to hit us with drones. Full war with Cuba. And Trump's already got a lot of the ships and stuff pulling out. So the consolation prize, I guess, is Cuba. I'm not going to cry if Cuba falls, but watch. If it does, they'll put the underling dictators like Venezuela, like they just did, in charge. And then it'll just be still a communist state run by our government. I mean, it's like, what? Yes, I said I overall understand regime change in our hemisphere. It's constitutional, Monroe Doctrine, gunboat diplomacy, Barbary, pirate precedent, Thomas Jefferson. I know it all. I mean, I know a lot of it. I said, pissed a lot of listeners off saying I get academically what Trump's doing. But I said that we're going to put the same people in charge, which is now happening. And how are we going to fight the Chinese who are getting ready to go into Taiwan and the Iranians and the Russians and the Latin Americans, everybody else? You starting to get where this is going? They need a national draft, folks. The head of the Army said we need 100,000 troops to take the Strait. Iran's 3 times the size of Iraq, 3 times as many people, 90 million people. It was all war gamed. Now, they call me an Iranian agent and traitor. They don't call Eric Prince that when he said Trump don't do it. They don't call the Pentagon that. They just hope you forget about that. But here's the Iranians' response with their AI. You know, they've had their Lego videos and all the rest of it. Now they've got their Simpsons knockoff. So this is their response. Here it is.
What intel do we have? We must respond faster. Move in now. You came in hot.
came in blind, crossed that line, now out of time.
For radio listeners that can't see this is the thing a month ago, rescuing the pilot. They were trying to get uranium. It wasn't a rescue operation, and they failed. But our military followed an insane order, which Trump now says is for PR.
They're getting closer.
They're contained. Proceed.
And this makes all our enemies look good.
You called for war.
Tracking target. Alignment
You
steady.
lost control. Smoke in the sky. Ash on the throne.
Damn it! We lost. They've entered.
They're going into the underground nuclear base. For radio listeners, I'm narrating. Viewers can see this, but remember, I do that for radio. We're on over 400 stations. And what's in there? Nothing. Of course, they moved it out. It's a cat and mouse game.
Wait, this is a trap!
We've been tricked. Evacuate now.
Which obviously I predicted when they did this, it would fail. I made a few phone calls to Delta Force people. Tired. That's what they thought. They totally agree with me, of course. So this is a disaster, folks. Israel's trying to commit us to total war. So we're told Iran just launched a major drone attack and set a nuclear power plant on fire in the United Arab Emirates. Okay, so we're told that, and we'll do an overhead shot right here. And then what does the UAE say? UAE said the drones came from a western border west of them. That could be Saudi, Yemen, or Iraq. What is notable, the UAE did not immediately attribute the attack to Iran breaking from its usual pattern. Three possibles on the table. Houthi drones from Yemen transiting Saudi airspace, Iranian-linked assets operating from Iraq, something more complicated that nobody is saying out loud yet, Israel. That's Mariana Fall. Here is the UAE's official press release. A drone has struck an electrical generator outside the Bakan nuclear power plant in the UAE's Al Dhafran region, noting that the drones came from the western border direction. Meanwhile, late-night blast fireball of the main Israel missile base blown up. Iran has taken credit for that, but notice the press isn't reporting on it. And we'll have the Strait completely shut down. UAE nuclear plant attacked as fire breaks out, and Iran accused of unacceptable strike. Iran says they didn't do it. Who knows?